Morning, Matt. Glenn Jessome here from Halifax this morning, President CEO, as many of your watchers would know, of Silver Tigre Metals. We've been in Mexico at a little old Halifax for almost 30 years now, building silver mines. And I'm very excited about El Tigre, our core asset district, 30,000 hectares, and boy, are we on it there. And, you know, we're getting ready for our next big, very material, high-grade silver resource, which we're gunning to have out into the market by June. And yeah, we're really on it there. And it's been an exciting couple of months. I think it was July since I talked to you. So nice to be back.
Absolutely. Well, it was only July, but you're a busy man. A lot of drilling going on, 5 rigs. We want to just stay in touch with this story because it's kind of shaping up, as you say, to be a little bit like Go Gold, just 12, 18 months behind them. So that would be nice. But look, before we get into that, you've been down at the conference this week. What's the mood of the nation down there with regards to where the silver market is today?
You know, I wasn't, when we went to the hybrid conference, I wasn't sure, but man, was it nice to see people again and have all the players there, all the banks, you know, the corporates were snooping around, the dinners and the bars in the evenings were very active. People were interacting and, you know, I liked it a buzz. I mean, let's face it, the commodities prices, it was a little drag. But boy, you know, I heard people talking about M&A. I heard people talking about financings. And I heard people saying stuff like the following: it's just a matter of time, Matt. There's not enough silver. There's just not enough of that metal. And some of the guys were talking about others, but really that was the highlight. We need to find a lot of silver because the world really is going to need it where they're heading in the next couple of years.
Are they also talking the language of consolidation, M&A?
You know, I think right now we're seeing it. I have a different way of finding that out. It's, you know, I'm a securities lawyer, so I don't want to break the rules, but you just have to call up some of the securities lawyer, let's say in the big cities. And yeah, are you guys busy? Oh man, we're so busy. We got so many deals working on. Are they announced? No, but we're busy. I mean, the banks are busy. There's going, in my opinion, will there be some deals come out of that conference? Absolutely. Of course, Denver's on this week. The big boys are there. So I think you're going to see some real energy here into the fall, into the new year.
And what about in terms of people actually turning up? I know you said it was nice to see people's faces, but
you know, I would say from my experience, we've been doing this a long time. I'd say about half. But, you know, look, it was a weird world. I fly from Halifax to Colorado. That's a day travel. You get in a little cubicle and you get your Zoom like I'm talking to you on, and we fire it up and we talk to a guy in Toronto who we, Pat flew over on the way here because I just didn't want to be there for various reasons. So look, it really worked. I was very pleased. We had 60 meetings in 3 days. That's incredible. Like that's a real go after them. I had Davey Duncan, our VPX, who's now in Mexico for the next 3 weeks. He continued on, getting that drill program firing. And very, very busy. I was very fortunate. I'd say 70% of our meetings were live. So I'm not complaining. Great show, great energy, just good for everybody to start talking about silver again.
Well, it's quite interesting, actually, that we say 60 meetings over 3 days. That's a real sign. That's a vote of confidence, I think, in the interest in not just precious metals, but metals more broadly at the moment. That because I've been, I remember only 3 short years ago, where people would come to conferences, pay to be at a conference, they'd be sitting around twiddling their thumbs for half the day. That's good news.
That doesn't happen for us. I mean, I had poor Davey's a little older than me, and in the end, they move you around from meeting spot to meeting. I was dragging him pretty hard on a couple of them. Come on, Dave, we got like 5 minutes to get to the next one. And anyway, there was no breaks. It was so bad at the end that Dave said, "Do you realize we've not eaten lunch for 3 days?" And I said, "Well, that's okay. I'll do that every time we come to a conference."
Okay. Well, I just wanted to catch up. I want to see how people are feeling about actually getting out to these conferences. Right. Those two specifically are fantastic conferences for junior miners. So in terms of meeting other people in the sector for just kind of get a sense of what's going on, but the money side of things as well, more importantly. So let's get down to business. You said that you're going to be off and doing a bunch of drilling. We've seen some nice numbers come out. So what's happening on the drill front?
Listen, I think I want to show not a lot, Matt, 5 minutes, 3 maps. And I think it's really it's going to go boom, boom, boom. and people are going to really see where we're going, not only for our resource in 22, but our resource in 23, 24, 25. This is coming at us hard. So look, I'm going to share this thing. You know, it's always challenging with the technology. Let's see if we can make this thing work. Boom. You should start to see my slide deck here any minute. You see that, Matt?
Certainly can.
Beautiful. Look, here's what we're going to talk about with the viewers here for the next 5 minutes or so. We're going to talk about 3 maps. This one, that's the 5 kilometers right in the guts of El Tigre. We're drilling hard on the Sui. I'm going to come back to that. You can see the black being the old Tigre mine. Remember the Tigre mine? 100 million silver equivalent ounces, 2.5 kilos. In about 20 years, 1930, everybody went home. American mine, because of the Great Depression, silver to 10 cents from $1.33. The cutoff grade for the mine was 1.2 kilos. You can imagine. We thought, and we're right, we always are, and we start drilling around this old mine, we're going to see what they left us. And boy, did they leave us a lot. So we're going to come back to that. I'm going to tell you how we're going to drill 2 resources right in that area. One in June of this year coming-ish, and the one shortly after that in 23. But I really think you have to appreciate, before we do that, what we've now really started to look at over the 4 or 5 or 6 past months that I haven't talked about a lot. And to do that, I'm going to show you really what the Tigre is. People have to really appreciate this, man. That's my land package. That's 35 kilometers inside the blue box. That's when I bought that public company. Everybody knows I'm a securities lawyer. It's what I do. Kind of not a corporate raider, but sometimes we see an asset, I have to buy the company. I did. And to put it in perspective, and I'm going to blow it up, that's the middle 25 kilometers. Everything I showed you on the previous map right here was the old mine right here and where we're drilling to the north. That's all the drilling. But boy, are we excited now, Matt. We've gone 15 kilometers this way. It's exactly the same. We've gone 12 kilometers this way. High grade silver and gold mineralization. A lot more base metals up here lower in this big epithermal system. We got on the other side of the mountain, upper volcanic, as the song goes. The whole vein set repeats itself here. We're going to talk about resource 22 here. But boy, you're going to start seeing some of this stuff really rear its head in 23. This is district. This will become the Tigre. Do we think we already have an economic deposit? Yes, I've got some work to do to show the world and be able to say that as a securities lawyer and guarantee it. But we do know one thing. This is going to become a very strategically important silver asset in the world, just like Los Ricos already has. We know that, and we can say that because of our 30 years of doing this in Mexico, our team, our technical team. Let's go back and finish up a couple of minutes on those other maps. We're going back to this one. All of our drilling, you want to know where the drills are. 4, turning to 5, 5th one on the way. We didn't want to phase the 5th one in. We got the 4th one up there cranking away. But we have a little rainy season. Starting to dry up beautifully now. Let's get that 5th one cranking. Real simple and I'm going to write a note here. R22, resource 22, early next summer. It's going to be the Sui vein. That's 3 kilometers of strike length. We got to drill here. We got to drill here. We got to drill here. And the 4th drill right now is on the sites Kelly. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to fill this in 50-meter spaces. That is going to deliver a big, super high-grade silver equivalent ounce 43101 resource. I'm going to show you something right now, how we're on it. I'm going to show you a breakout map on this Sui of 500 meters right about there. That's where all those drill results. We got it filled in at 50 there and show you what we're seeing, especially on 200 meters of it. Let's go look at the next map. There it is. Look at that 500 meters. That's where we're really already have it filled in. But I'm going to blow up that 200 meter little circle you see there. See that right here? I'm going to blow that up for everybody. Well, look at that. Remember, that's some of our most recent drilling. 2 things. The red is the high-grade quartz vein. The black on the left-hand side, look at the width of high grade. Remember the old timers, that was waste rock. Anything 1.2 down, all they wanted was your countertop. And they left us lost to that countertop quartz vein. Look at the grade on that thing. 1.3 meters of 2, 1.3 of 1. But boy, do we ever like as miners 5.4 meters of almost a kilo. It's 4.6 of 810. That's what we're seeing consistently along that 3 kilometers of Sui vein. You can go look at the Benjamin results. They were as good or better. Kilometer and a half north, down south, the same. I'm showing you this because this is where we're really on it. And remember, see all the triangles? Don't ever not pay attention to the triangles. What we always do, Matt, when we get there first is we basically go after the historic records. That old mine was mined there. We did 150 meters, and what they left us around and down dip. We have 20,000 underground samples in that old mine every 5 feet. That's what's given us that continuity. Not only these drill holes, but all of those were as high or higher grade. Remember everything in the bottom level of that mine? It's a couple of kilos when they stop mining. That's the way we're on to it. I'm going to go back to this and show you exactly what 22 is going to be and then what we're going to do in 23. That was the breakout right there, the 500 meters. We're going to drill into early next year, that 3 kilometers of Sui vein every 50 meters. We're going to put some fans in there, as you know, on the sections, get up and get down, take a few deep shots, get some inferred. That's going to be the basis for resource R22. It will be very material. We delineate ore. That's the only way you win here, and then move it to economics and build a mine. Last thing I say is the following. R23. Just remember when the 5th drill, 6th drill, 7th drill, which is going to happen, we're going to fix this, but we're already mapping and sampling, Matt, 500-600 meters to the south, getting that ready for the drill bit. Remember the success we had north on the Cayley Protectora. We're going to get back there. The Fundador is just the northern extension of the Cayley. And I'll just make it over here. The vein on the other side of the mountain, Santa Maria, drill holes here. You're going to see drill holes here, 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 here. After we come out with R22, all this drilling will be taking place later this year into early next year. That will be R23. And then, you know, as we like to say, and we're looking this far ahead, 3 and 4 years. I guess we could say this will be R24, R25. I'm making that up as I go. That's what we have here. This is not going to be drill it off, here's your number. Look, my geologists tell me all the time, Matt, I'll be dead and they'll still be drilling ounces at the Tigre. That's when you find a district like this, what they are. They're 30, 40-year events. And that's where we think this is going. Early days, so far, are we ever on it right here? So that's all I really wanted to show everybody, how we're going to do things, what we're seeing. You saw those results. People can go look at them themselves. I think I don't need to be in this anymore. I'm going to come back and talk to you face to face.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what I want to know is bring it back to today. So R22, R23. How are you funding all of this drilling? I know you've got 4 drills, 5th one on its way. How's this being funded?
We got, we were very successful raising money at good valuation at the right time. We've got in excess of $20 million at the bank. And, if people want to know roughly what we're doing, just do the math in their head. 4 drill rigs today, our G&A is less than 100,000 Canadian a month. 4 drill rigs today is about 500,000 US per month. Maybe if we put, add a drill on, it goes to 550, 560. So do the math. We can go for a long, long time with 4 drill rigs. We're not going to do that. Do we have enough money to get to that resource estimate in June? Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think that's the first moment, because it's very difficult with the explorers sometimes. Sometimes they just keep drilling and they keep drilling, and it's kind of like they never get to an end point. So you're very clear. You want to get a resource done. You're talking about, 22, 23, 24. You're going to build it up to what size before you say, do you know what? We've got to show people this can become a mine. We've got to stop with the drilling. We've got to put some studies together and show people what we're doing.
Here's how we operate, and people should know that. We've been there a long time. So what we learned is we update. We have our own team that have built internal models on a weekly basis for our projects out of Hermosillo, led by the SPM team, Jose Carlos, Ramon Luna. Fantastic. They're doing this ever since we were there. They've been with us. So we get that updated weekly. We work with PNE. They are our independents. We don't wait and put a pin in something and say, here, Mr. Independence, we're going to do a resource. You take 6 months and come back and tell us how we screwed up. Every week we download to them. They're side by side. When we're going to put it out, but there's no number in my head. This is going to be a very material amount of silver at high grade. That's what I'll tell you. And we don't need to wait to get to 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. We're going to come with, because you can't here. You can't do, look, I don't want it. Some guys went out and drilled 500,000 meters and they come out with their full resource after 3 or 4 years. They're done. We're not going to do that. We're going to put a very, very substantial numbers on an annual basis. And I think the market's going to be very, very excited about it.
Okay. Again, I just want to help people understand how you create value, where the numbers are going to come from here. So you're drilling, right? And we get the drilling. There's lots of press releases about the drilling. You've just run through some maps about where you're going to drill as well. I think that's really useful. But, people look to a Go Gold, they look to a SilverCrest and go, well, that's the way to do it. They have created their, $800 million, $1.2 billion companies respectively. They've got a model which has worked. I mean, do you say, we'll just do that? I know you're involved with Go Gold, but what's the model here?
SilverCrest, we know what they've done. Go Gold and we're the same. I mean, I built Go Gold. I was a securities lawyer. I've been with that team for more than 20 years. Like, you think we're not going to change them all now. It's pretty good. So we're going to deliver. It's real simple what we think about. Delineate ore, move it to economics, get it out of the ground as soon as possible. It's really that simple. And that's what we're going to do here. And we're well on the track at El Tigre.
Okay. And so, cheeky one. Is there any point at which Tigre and Go Gold come together?
I would say no, but I also say never, never. But I would say no.
Okay, fine. And
why I say that, Matt,
is
because the two assets are so strong. Both of them are going to become very important standalone strategic silver assets on the planet. I think Go Gold's already in the top 5. I'm gunning to get there.
And again, just on M&A, you said that people want silver. There's not a lot of big, good silver stories out there. Go. I don't want you to answer on behalf of Go Gold, but if a company like Go Gold is probably in the scopes of some big major as it stands. Likewise, if you can do what you say you're going to do, you're in the scope. So, which is fine. You can work out how you play that.
Honest to goodness, I'm a capital markets guy. Go ahead. What were you
but I was going to say, in some ways, there's a kind of bit of protectionism by sort of coming together a little bit more formally than informally as you are now.
Well, look, you know what we've learned our whole careers and is that we delineate or move it to economics, build mines. Sometimes it makes sense for the shareholders that, like our Sandra gratuitous sale to Agnico, to move an asset. I'm only going to speak for the Tigre. I don't want to get myself in trouble with Brad and Go Gold, my partner. But what I would say on this is the following. There is a time when a company can be acquired, and I think the Tigre will get to that point. I always thought it would be around BMO because there's a sweet spot where a CEO of an acquirer can look at your asset and say, I can buy that. Look at all the upside. And if it goes, I'm not getting fired. Listen, everybody's self-interested, man. Let's face it like that. I think we're going to get very rapidly into a market cap area, which is quite a bit higher than where we are right now, where we become, in my opinion, a very attractive target for some of the acquirers out there. But make no mistake, the best advice I ever got from one of my partners was the following. We control one thing. Our own boardroom controls what we do, 100%. I don't control anybody else's boardroom. So they can do what they want. They can come and see what they want. They can follow as they will, and they will. And we're going to delineate ore, move it to economics, and build that mine as fast as we possibly can. That's what we've done the entire time we've been there. It's the only way you survive. You can't go drill hole to drill hole and someone's going to buy my drill holes. Never works out.
And with regards to the market, silver's down like $150, $160 since we last spoke, towards the end of July. How's that impacting decision making?
Well, it's actually down almost $3. I think from memory, we were over 25 in July we talked, and today it's 22. Listen, it does not affect on a day-to-day basis my decision making. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably this largest, maybe a few institutions in there, but I'm the largest shareholder of the company. Wrote my checks for multi-million dollars to buy all my stock, and then I'm with everybody else. I'm with you shareholders. I don't sell. until we build a mine or I sell to a major. Full stop. So you're with me. I don't watch the stock on a day-to-day basis. People say, oh, well, you should, you're the CEO. I don't, because I know where we're going. And with these ups and downs, like, you can't control that. But all we're going to do, if I had $600,000 in the bank, I'd be sweating today. A little bit. I'd have to go out and I'd have to get the institution to give me money at a lower rate. I raised my last money at 60 cents from the top institutions in the world: Franklin Templeton, Merck, Sprott Asset Management, Ransom out of New York. These are the best funds out there. And they gave it to me at that price. They're not concerned. I'm not concerned. We now have $21 million to deliver that resource. And then it's real value. It's not, man, he didn't put a press release out for 3 weeks. Something's wrong. No, nothing's wrong. I couldn't be more excited about the company. I got my blinders on the price. Look, Matt, there's not enough silver in the world. They're going to build cars and batteries. They're going to do 5G, and they're going to so, and they're all saying, and we want clean metal. And oh, by the way, where is it? It's supply and demand will rule. I don't know when, but it will. And look, on that front, you ask about capital. Capital is really important. We have to be good corporate citizens. I'm, as you know, the national advisory for the TSX Venture Exchange, so governance, got that covered. But on the social side and on the government, on the environmental side, we're up in our game. You would have saw a press release a week or so ago. I got a few calls. Oh, that's fluffy. You have no idea. We are going to use ESG as a strategic advantage. We've been in Mexico for 30 years. We will be the best. Full stop. And that is where the world is going. You'll see also when we have our shareholders meeting later this year, we're going to appoint our first female director, a very talented securities mining lawyer out of Mexico. You know, those are important things to us. And, you know, we're going to be great corporate citizens, but you're going to see some real interesting information come out, because we think the world's changed. They want their metal, but they also need to get it clean. We're going to give it to them as clean as possible. So things are coming very good.